Hold up, before you get to watching this video, let me talk to you for a second. Hit that bell down below and subscribe to the Fitz Take Podcast YouTube channel so you'll know when every episode is dropping or if something has been posted on this page. Also, be sure to follow me and Elijah on our social media platforms. They will be linked down in the description. Now back to the episode. Cam Newton, former NFL MVP, former Heisman Trophy winner, former national champion, all of those things like that. And now a content creator full-time, entrepreneur and all those things like that, signed a deal with ESPN in which he will be a regular contributor to the flagship show or the morning flagship show known as First Take. Stephen A. Smith is the face of that show, and he has added so many different contributors to it. It's kind of just a revolving door, and I feel like First Take has become a place where you can not only get your face out there and say things, but you can also promote your own brand. You know, you look at Ryan Clark was one of the very first guys to be a part of that trend with them starting to pivot with him, Fred Taylor, and Channing Crowder. Shout out to those guys for the great content that they are producing. And then you add Shannon Sharp in there, Club Shay Shay, and Nightcap. And now you add Cam Newton in there. He is 4th and 1 and Funky Friday as well. He is set to make his first appearance tomorrow on First Take when they go out to Tennessee State for a live edition of First Take. I've seen a lot of different opinions about this. I've seen some of the people that are in the journalism world, like ourselves, not be so fond of this because they're like, dang, bro, like, what do you tell the young black men, the young black women that want to be sports commentators? What do you tell them when you see athletes continue to get opportunities and they don't? But then I've also seen people say like, hey, like, brother doing numbers on all of his content. He's been out there. He's earned the opportunity. And he's got the credentials on the field to speak about it. So Elijah, from your perspective, do you feel like this was a good decision by First Take? How do you feel about it as a business decision? And, how do you feel like this will benefit Cam in the long run?
I think ESPN always give people chances. I remember they gave Robert Griffin a chance on College Game Day. So they do a great job of giving former athletes or retired athletes or athletes in general a job. And I'm happy for Cam. Honestly, I think Cam built that 4 for 1 podcast in the right way. He always got his opinion out there. I think he's connected with the youth a little bit as well. So I think this is a good job for ESPN to make this hire with Cam. Now, like you just said, though, it is a bittersweet thing for journalists like myself, you, other journalists that's out there. If they have that dream of going to an ESPN, Fox, NBC, things of that nature, you're not only competing against other journalists in the world now, but you're competing against athletes that actually played at the highest level. So it does make it a little harder for us to grab those jobs, but there's no ill will and no hate about it because at the end of the day, they got to feed their families too. And you got to just tip your hat to it and respect it. But,
we know he know about some hats now. So I don't know if you can beat him tipping hats. He might have us beating them hats and tipping and all that stuff.
And speaking of fashion, that's the only thing that's going to hurt my eyes because Cam be wearing things I don't understand. It'd be like some church shoes with a scarf and then a hat with a hole in the middle where his dreads come out. Then it's a Fruit Loop box. You got blue pants. You got
Fruit Loop box is insane.
Yellow. You got it's just nothing matches. But it's his style. I don't understand what Cam be. I don't know how he looks in the mirror if he sees black and white or if he actually see the colors he got on. But it doesn't. It's not good looking. Hopefully, maybe so. Stephen A. and Shannon Sharp give him heck the way about how you dress, but that's going to do two things. It's going to make him dress worse, or probably get better. So, I hope he, I hope in that way he just get a fashion. There's nothing wrong with the dreads. Dreads is cool and stuff, but coming out the hat like this.
Yeah, he be going crazy with that.
That's not
I ain't gonna lie.
I was like, come on, man, come on.
He be going crazy with that. No, from a business perspective for First Take, I think this was a huge move. I think it was an important move for them to continue to add to their contributors bag. You look at, RC, Marcus Spears, Mad Dog Russo, Paul Feinbaum chips in the middle of the week. Shannon Sharp on Mondays and Tuesdays. Cam now going to be on Fridays. So it's just continuing for them to set themselves as the number one that they've been for so very long. In terms of the landscape of the business, I think that a lot of what gets confused is the line between sports commentary and journalism, which are not the same thing. And I'm speaking to my people that are aspiring to be reporters, that are aspiring to get in this business. If you are trying to be the next Stephen A. Smith, if you're trying to be the next Shannon Sharp, if you're trying to be the next Cam Newton, RC, and all those things like that, but you're going into the TV business, like you're going in two completely different directions. You would probably have a better chance, honestly, doing what we're doing right now, like streaming and just building up your brand big enough to where you get noticed and then you get contracted out as a contributor. You're able to voice your own opinions on different platforms, and it doesn't always have to be ESPN. I'm a huge proponent. That was one of the biggest reasons why me and Elijah started this. Like, because we don't like what we do as journalists, TV news anchors, sports reporters, all of those people, is we're there to present the facts, and that's it. It's not up to us to necessarily voice our opinions. The ability that we have to voice our opinions comes at places where we can voice our opinions, which is places like here. Like, it's not necessarily your job to go on air and say, hey, the Saints suck today. That's not your job. Your job is to say the Saints lost to the Buccaneers. That's it. And then it's left up to you as the viewer to be able to talk about it. I once had someone tell me, it's actually a Sports Center anchor, Michael Eves, shout out to him. And I had a conversation with him, and he was asking me, like, what is your long-term goal of what you want to do? And I was like, man, I want to be the next, a commentator. I want to be on ESPN commentating. And he said something that made a whole lot of sense. He was like, why would a major network hire someone when you can go to someone that has twice the credentials? A Cam Newton has way more credentials than I do. And of course, I played football, but I did not play it at the highest of levels that Cam did. I am not an NFL MVP. I am not a Heisman Trophy winner. I'm not a national champion. So his credentials, the things that he says, is going to have a whole lot more weight than what I'm saying. And don't nobody, like, it might be like 20 people that legitimately want to watch me versus it might be 20,000 people that legitimately want to watch Cam and pay attention to what he's doing. Heck, we know that's the truth because when he drops a 4th and 1 episode, it's getting 20, 30, 40,000, 100,000 views on it based on, the content that he's putting out there. I don't think that this changes the landscape of the sports media world. I think it's just continuing to build in the direction that it's already on, which is the athletes are the commentators, we're the journalists. So what we would be doing is what an Elle Duncan does, which she does get opportunities to commentate, but those are in sparing reps. Somebody like that is mostly anchoring. What a Michael Eves is doing, what a Stan Verrett is doing, people like that, a Linda Cohn, like people like that are anchors. And then the other side to it, the commentary side to it, I feel like you do that on your own personal platforms or in spaces where you have opportunities to do it, is where you do it at. So I'm with it, man. I'm excited to see what Cam will do. I'm excited for that first outfit tomorrow. I might wake up to watch that. I might DVR it or record it or something to be able to see what he gonna wear, because we know that hat gonna be hatting. And that fit gonna be fitting. We know that's coming for sure. Look, it's gonna be tied up. It's gonna be some kind of way. He gonna go crazy with it, bro. I already know he going crazy with it. Do you think that also in that, like, is this also a move? Because Stephen A. Smith is a executive producer on the show. Right. Is this something by him? Obviously, he doesn't have the final say. there are executives and bosses above him that ultimately make the call to get a Cam Newton, to get a Stephen A, or get a Shannon Sharp there on the show. But do you feel like him getting a lot of pieces where there are going to be charismatic people that are going to give those quote unquote viral moments out there? Do you think that's only going to help him in his contract negotiations? Because we seen that brother asking for $100 million.
Yeah. I mean, because the ratings keep on going up. I mean, why not? Why not try to shoot what you can get for? I mean, if you're the executive producer and you're the face of the show, I mean, that's two hats on. That's two hats, basically, essentially.
There you go with them hats again. But you keep talking about them hats. Hey, them hats. Them hats gonna keep coming along now. Go ahead with them hats, boy.
Well, he wears both headgears for the show. For the show, so I just think that you got to ask for more money. ESPN got it. They got it, especially they're closing deals now. They re-signed with the NBA Finals. They got all SEC games. They got the money, man. They got the money. So I think this is setting Stephen A. Smith up. But I think on a bigger level as well. I think if something happens on that nightly show with Jimmy Kimmel, that's actually an ABC program.
Mm-hmm.
I think I set him up for that too, because he's showing that I can get people on this show, and they excel at it. So if he decided to say, "Hey, I just want to be behind the scenes and work that," and I don't know if this is happening or not. I don't know, but if he decides to say, "I just want to do Jimmy Kimmel," if that's offered, that's going to show that he can produce the show, come in from time to time, give the show away, and do the Jimmy Kimmel thing if he decided to walk away. Because I think Stephen A. Smith will have his hand in Disney when this is all said and done.
Yeah, I have heard people say that because I mean he's done acting on like I think the Young and the Restless and things like that. So he's dabbled in things outside of the sports world. And again, like he has his own platform where he's able to, talk about things however he wants to and however he pleases. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see, man. I think that First Take is just going to continue to grow. It's going to continue to be able to build and continue to be the biggest brand in sports talk shows across the platforms. I mean, outside of First Take, like I think the Pat McAfee show is maybe one of the bigger flagships out of all of the main personalities, and then it's kind of just everybody else after that. Like First Take is the standard, and then it's everybody else. And
Right.
It's been like that for some time now. They've been the number ones, and they're going to continue to be the number one. So Cam Newton signs his deal with ESPN and will appear on First Take every Friday, the first Friday coming up tomorrow when First Take goes on the road at Tennessee State. Thank you so much for watching this clip of the Fitz Take podcast. Be sure to like this video and also subscribe to the YouTube channel. And also follow me and Elijah on our social media platforms. They will be linked down in the description. And remember, every episode of the Fitz Take podcast will air right here on the YouTube channel every Monday at 2 p.m. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.